end of the world. Multiple videos of horn sounds coming from the skies around the world over the last few years have gone viral, leaving us wondering what in the hell is going on.
So what are you hearing? Well, we don't really know. The strange sounds were heard across Terrace, BC early yesterday morning and lasted for about 10 minutes.
All over the world, reports of alarming sounds like the blast of trumpets resounding from the skies above are beginning to cast gloom and uncertainty on the minds of many. This phenomenon has been largely reported in cities around the world, and even residents of local homesteads are not left out. Could this be the apocalyptic trumpet revealing something terrifying to us? Could these ominous sounds be a sign of impending doom? What are they? Where do they originate from? Is it a message from the unknown universe to us on Earth? Join us as we attempt to unravel everything behind these disturbing sounds. Across the continent, people all over the world have recounted hearing these unexplainable sounds in their countries, with frequent reports in different parts of the United States, New York, Chile, and South Africa, to name a few. We're about to show you video snippets of instances where these sounds have been recorded live on camera.
Guys, what is going on?
Strange sounds are being heard around the world.
As you watch and listen to this sound, perhaps you might be able to attempt some explanation as to the origin of these shocking sounds that have defied explanations. Various episodes of trumpet blaring, loud booming noises in the skies have been reported across cities in the United States. A young man living in Ohio came online to share his experience after hearing what seemed like a loud siren noise outside their home around 2 a.m. On stepping outside, there was no police vehicle or ambulance in sight, nor was there a fire truck. The biggest scare from his experience was that the loud, siren-like noise came from above, not from the street where it would be usual to hear blaring sirens. This sparked some controversy, as those online were equally intrigued. Residents in Brooklyn, New York have equally made comments about an uncomfortable humming noise around their neighborhood. While they really can't determine what the source of the noise is, some have said the sound seems more like someone rubbing the top of a crystal glass. Interestingly, they hear the sound both at night and during the day as well. Despite involving environmental protection authorities, it seemed like nothing could be done, as they couldn't hear the noise nor ascertain any sound. The fact that the sound goes and comes, and they can't determine when to expect it or when it will stop, makes it even more frightening. In the city of Utah, the neighborhood was awoken by a howling sound on their streets at about 5 a.m. Despite that a young man went out to verify what it was, there was nothing in sight. Out of fear, some called 911, but when the authorities came to check, they concluded the sound was from strong winds rushing into a slackline in the neighborhood. Yet not many agreed with it, stating that the sound was too intense to be produced from a slack line, and there was no way to prove it. Reports from different parts of the US have equally recorded similar experiences, and many have been left wondering what the cause of the inexplicable sounds could be. Okay, that's the US. What about other parts of the world? Well, here you go. A similar occurrence in Chile also revealed fearful noise ringing through a Chilean locality. Humans and animals alike were frightened by this event, as it rang out through the still night. Many residents compared it to the sound of clanging metal, while some say it's more like a heavenly trumpet sound. A TikTok user living in Johannesburg also experienced unexplainable sounds in the early hours of the day in her home. Some other people equally reported a similar experience. With no logical explanation, some are beginning to agree that it might have something to do with the apocalypse. You think you've heard it all? Well, that's not all. There's more. Even China has not been left out from these unexplainable booms. In April 2023, locals heard 4 loud booms that were similar to those from a gas explosion so powerful it set off car alarms and rattled home windows. All efforts to trace the events to any specific activity in the region proved futile, as the military authorities denied any activity that could have produced the sounds. No jets that could have produced a supersonic effect were also flown around, nor did the sounds come from whale-watching boats in the area. To date, the mystery about these sounds is yet to be unsolved. Police in Nottingham also received several reports of unexplainable sounds in the sky from residents, as the occurrence spanned several weeks. Some residents described it as sounding like a giant blowtorch, while others said they had expected to see an aircraft somewhere in the skies or even flames, but nothing was seen.
Now, the operations manager tells us the AN-12 is a very loud plane that makes a similar sound to the one heard in that viewer video.
Some other residents, startled by the sound, described it as a whooshing, moving noise. Although various residents contacted the police, they didn't get a satisfactory answer, as they were told the source could be from moving heavy machinery somewhere. But where is this machinery located, and why was it so close? No answers have been provided. Earlier that year, a couple equally experienced unexplainable trumpet-like sounds one evening. Initially intrigued by the sound, they decided to record the sound, and to their surprise, the episode lasted up to 40 minutes. In a bid to find some explanations, the man posted the video on his social media page, where some others commented that they had experienced almost the same thing. What makes this even scary is that even Australia is not left out of this worldwide intriguing phenomenon. Residents of Melbourne equally experienced similar sounds like a low-frequency hum. Some have tried to explain that it could be happening in the individual's head, describing a condition named tinnitus that arises from an excessive use of earphones. A particular resident debunked this possibility and claimed to only hear it when he's in Melbourne. Despite how disturbing this sounds, no one has been able to say for sure what causes them. Now that this has become a worldwide event, many people, including scientists and religious people, have attempted to provide explanations around them. What could be the cause and source of these sounds? Here's what people have to say. How can we explain these sounds happening all over the world? Some researchers have begun to speculate the theory that some of these inexplicable trumpet-like sounds happening across the globe could be instances of skyquakes. You may think of it like a sky version of an earthquake, except that the processes and outcomes are obviously different from each other. When skyquakes occur, you're likely to hear loud, thunder-like booming sounds in the sky, but without any cloud in sight. The intensity of the quakes could be so low that it comes in low hums, and at other times it could be so loud that it rattles items around the home. There are various opinions about the causes of skyquakes that are worth sharing. Some people believe that since the sky is there to protect life on the Earth from all the mysterious things happening in space, then there could be a possibility that the big boom sounds may be due to big energy blasts coming from the sun. To an extent, this could make some sense if you look at how hot it could get during the day. If UV rays from the sun could be so harmful to human life, some people think that since the sky works to protect us from intense bubbles of gas that the sun throws into space known as coronal mass ejections, the sonic booms we hear all over the world may be the result of that impact. There are also speculations that natural activities on the Earth may be responsible for the sounds. Since the Earth is made of different gas combinations, they think it could be possible that some of these gases got caught up in the atmosphere while trying to escape through vents on the Earth's surface. The sky acting as a barrier could then set off those gases and cause the unexplainable sounds we hear at odd hours of the day. If you've probably heard these weird sounds in your home, and you've been worried that you're probably the only one hearing it, it might impress you to know that it's not just you. As a matter of fact, it's common in different parts of the world, and they even have their names for it. Italians call it brontidi, which implies the sound of thunder in the distance. People in Spain describe it as cielo moto, which also means skyquakes. Also, people in Bangladesh call it barisal guns because of the cannon-like sounds it gives. Japanese people describe this interesting phenomenon as cries from the sea or uminari, as they believe the sky noises are made from the sea. While all of these are yet to be scientifically proven, some of these local names might be proof that there might be some truth to the scientific theories around these mysterious sounds. The Japanese uminari explains how some people understand the skyquakes. Some follow the idea that it could be possible that these sounds occur due to the collapse of caves under the seas and oceans. When this happens, it could send loud, crashing sounds into the air that could be carried very far, startling people when they hear it. Similarly, some believe erupting volcanoes could also achieve a similar effect when the loud blasts and booms are carried across far distances. Apart from these explanations, some think that these could still be caused by military planes moving faster than the speed of sound. These reverse action in the atmosphere causes sonic boom that could also contribute to skyquakes. Some other explanations wonder if these sounds could also be due to changes in the magnetic fields of the sun or the earth. This may be logical since it happens in different parts of the world and at different times. It's not just enough to guess around in trying to figure out the source of the sounds. Scientists have equally published theories to explain them. What are they? Let's find out. There are speculations that skyquakes occur as a result of natural and man-made events occurring at far distances and reverberating through the expanse of the sky.
What's that sound?
Mo Hussein, he took video walking home one night. He's noticed the sound for over a year.
While many theories have been made in an attempt to explain skyquakes, many of them have been debunked. A group of scientists from the University of Northern Carolina have explained that the most likely cause of skyquakes could be due to the atmosphere transporting the sound from large sea waves to a far distance. Alternatively, there's also a possibility that the sound could be from shooting stars or meteors exploding against the cloud in the skies. The mystery of these sounds has also been explained by another geologist. When these noises occur, many are likely to hear them at night or when they're asleep. The living conditions in our busy world come with so much noise that we get used to it as part of our daily lives. He thinks that this could be the reason why most people don't hear it during the day in most places, or in some cases, only heard by a few people. If we hear a loud boom in the sky or metal scraping noise during the day, we can easily assume it's from a nearby construction site or factory and not pay it too much attention. This is not the case when we hear it at night when our world is calm and quiet. The sound would get anyone concerned, startled, or afraid, making us call it unusual or mysterious. Other experts think that these sounds in our skies could be caused by activities within the Earth itself. They believe that it could be a result of the movement within the Earth, a phenomenon called tectonic movement. Though the world seems visibly static and stable, scientists believe that below the stable surface of the Earth are massive moving plates. These movements have been used to explain how some of the massive features that we see on the Earth's surface, such as large mountain expanses, sprawling valleys, and other impressive land shapes are formed. Think of the Earth as a round dough with a crusty surface, a soft interior, and a strong core that gives it its shape. However, this crusty surface isn't a whole piece, but separate parts joined together to form a whole. While it's difficult to tell each piece or plate apart, these crusty parts float above the softer interior that allows these movements without causing any form of easily noticeable chaos. The floating of the crust is caused by the movement of heat coming from the core, which makes the plate float in the direction of the current of the heat. Interestingly, this movement is not noticeable quickly, and it could take thousands of years to see any changes on the Earth's surface. Unlike the traffic control that tells you about an oncoming vehicle, there's no control over the movement of these plates. Hence, they can slide over each other, pull away, or even crash into each other. When this happens, new lands are formed on the Earth's crust, or even large valleys like the Great East African Rift Valley, and it could also lead to volcanic eruptions. It could also widen the ocean coast, or deepen trenches in the ocean. There are so many amazing things about our world as we know it, and many that are yet to be uncovered. If seemingly complex things like these can lead to major changes in the Earth apart from what we already know, there's no doubt that physical processes like these could also be responsible for the loud sounds in the sky that we hear all over the world. Now here's the challenge that's yet to be solved. Since all of these are speculations, how do we know for sure? What if this doesn't explain it? What if there's more to these sounds? Could these sounds be the apocalyptic trumpet? These sounds are not the routine noise you might expect to hear in your neighborhood. Strange as they already are, they originate from the skies instead of the ground that many are used to. And when people look up to ascertain the source of the noise, they are left with nothing to see except the gaping emptiness of the sky above. Even more alarming is the fact that these sounds do not occur the same way. While some have noted it to sound like clashing metals, Some say it sounds like blaring trumpets. For some, it's like a low-toned hum or constant buzzing, and for others it's a loud boom in the skies with nothing in sight. This has led to a frenzy of curiosity, with people wondering where the sounds emanate from and what they mean. This unexplainable noise continues to leave many uncertain about what to expect about the future of the human race and what living on the Earth will become. Various speculations and theories are emerging to explain them. For instance, some have said these heavenly sounds feel like the echo of many trumpets in the heavens. Others say it could be some secret government weapon testing going on, while some feel it could be the howl or cry of wild animals carried in the wind from faraway distances. If this was all, maybe we wouldn't need to be worried about these sounds. But some have tendered an interesting possibility that makes the phenomenon even scarier. They think these sounds may be the apocalyptic trumpets that mark the end of age as described across various religious and cultural prophecies. Could this truly be the case? Religious folks have tried to provide their explanation for this phenomenon. For them, there's more than meets the eye, and this has nothing to do with any physical changes in the earth or secret government operations. These are holy signals. The end is coming, they continue to say. In the biblical book of Revelations, prophecies about the apocalypse and catastrophes that would happen to humanity have been spelled out and are now topics of intense debate. They think it's no coincidence that people are hearing trumpet-like sounds in the skies above their homes, and they've taken to various social media platforms to sound their warnings. But it's hard to prove that this is true, as there are many divergent views about it.
Humming noise that would come in kind of a wave pattern. It's over long periods of time, so it's not just for 10 or 15 minutes and goes away like a train.
While some think the metallic sounds and booms are sounds of celestial wars going on between angels and demons, some say it's the blast of heavenly trumpets signaling the apocalypse. Others think the sound has nothing to do with the biblical prophecies. They believe that when the world reaches the true end of age, the trumpet sounds will only be heard by a select righteous few and not everyone. They also say that it would happen simultaneously across the world, not at different times and in different places like we're experiencing. With this divergence in views, it is hard to tell if these sounds are truly apocalyptic trumpets or if it's just something else we're yet to discover. While we await more proven answers to these puzzling events, don't forget to share peculiar experiences you've had and what you think might be the cause of these noises in the comments. Also, don't forget to support us by liking and subscribing to this channel.